Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good evening, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in great spirits. Yes, it's a night show. It's a night show. It's been a while. Actually, it hasn't been a while since I've done a night show, but still, it's nice to be here with you guys, talk to you guys about this and a couple other topics as well. I want to make that abundantly clear. Yes, we have our main topic. We have our main discussion here. But of course, I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple other stories, a couple other things that are going on in the world. I told you guys I was going to start to slowly integrate some other stories into some of the shows. Not all shows, but some. Okay. And there is something that's recently gone on, some new stuff, some in the pop culture realm, some not. Also, this particular case that I want to talk to you guys as well about. So I wanted to be able to come in here and talk to you guys a couple things and about a couple things. And the other thing is something is really very shocking to me. And I'm surprised, to be completely honest. And so I have some things I want to share with you guys on a story or a little piece of information I told you guys earlier at the end of the show this morning. I got some updates on something that really just shook me to the core. Didn't expect this. And so there's a very interesting story that I have to tell you guys. And again, there's a message I still need for you guys to hear. Okay. So anyway, before we get into everything, do me a favor, hit that like button down below, please and thank you. All right, if you're watching on the Facebook, please be sure to hit that reaction button down below. That would really, really mean a lot. Okay, I'm still keeping my eyes on the Kansas City Chiefs case. Don't worry, we'll be talking about that for sure. I'm sure if there's any more developing information, we'll be talking about that first thing in the morning. Okay, and I also have an announcement about tomorrow as well. So we got a lot to get into. So hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, baby. You know your boy's working hard out here in these streets. So hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Hit that follow button if you're watching on Facebook. Follow me on all my social medias, The Pascal Show, one word. Go check out my merch page, pascalmerch.com. Go grab yourself a dope hoodie during these cold times. And custom made hoodies made by these hands right now. Go check it out. Okay. And if you want to support the channel any other way, you can simply hit that join button down below and become a member. Okay, guys, it's that simple. All right, guys, we got to get into a lot with this. There's a couple stories I got to get into before we go into our main topic for tonight. Okay. And don't worry, we're going to get into these pretty damn quickly. But there are some things that I thought were kind of interesting and I wanted to share with you guys because honestly, you know, we've been covering a lot of true crime stuff, which of course you see in the thing. You see in the title or on the thumbnail. We do have a true crime conversation that we have coming up here shortly. But there are some other things that are going on in the world that I was like, hey, I want to share this with you guys. It's, you know, some light stuff, something very serious that we need to talk about that I'm still very shook about and surprised. And then, of course, our main topic for the evening. So let's get into our first one. And this is on a positive note. This is something I find extremely dope, and I'm very excited about it. I don't know if you guys watch The Daily Show, okay? I don't know if you guys follow or watch The Daily Show, and if you don't, it's all good, you know, to each their own. But we do have some good news in regards to the show. For the longest time, for a while now, since Trevor Noah stepped down and moved on, they've been going through so many different guest hosts on the show. Some of them have been absolutely great, and some of them have been absolute trash. We could say it. But one thing is for sure, in my personal opinion, the GOAT is back. Yes, that's right. Jon Stewart is back in the hosting chair for The Daily Show. Yes, I'm very excited about it. Me very happy about that, big time. Okay. And so I wanted to share this with you guys because, again, it's not for a very long time, but it's the perfect timing. We're going to get into that in just a second. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so he will return to The Daily Show as a weekly guest host. Okay, this is fantastic news. Okay, this man's the GOAT. All right, whether you like his stuff or not, he definitely was in that chair for 16 years, y'all. That's a long, long time. So I'm very happy about Jon Stewart coming back. All right. But real quick, it says here, after more than a year searching to find a new host, The Daily Show has tapped the man who built it into a media and show business institution to help forge its next chapter. I'm going to tell you right now, I think this is a very, very smart move for The Daily Show. Real quick. And the reason why I say this is in this next paragraph. So Jon Stewart, who hosted the program for 16 years before leaving in 2015, will return to The Daily Show as a part-time host and executive producer through the 2024 presidential election cycle. This is brilliant. The reason why is it's perfect timing, guys. It's perfect timing. You know for a fact, everyone's going to be locked in during election time. Everyone's going to be watching every move that Trump, Biden, whoever ends up being the main two, okay? Everybody and their mama is going to be watching during this election cycle. So yes, this is very, very smart on behalf of The Daily Show. And they need a powerhouse and they need a veteran like Jon Stewart. If they're not going to get Trevor Noah back, right? They need somebody who knows they-ish, right? So he'll lead the program on Monday nights. So he's only doing one show a week, beginning on February 12th, leaving hosting on Tuesdays through Thursdays to the show's correspondents. Again, very, very smart. But more importantly, Stewart and his manager, James Dixon, will serve as executive producers for all episodes through 2025. The announcement says Stewart will, quote unquote, shape the next chapter of the franchise, whatever that means, effectively kicking the question of who might host the show permanently down the road, past the time when Americans will choose our next president. It's an arrangement that makes sense, or which makes sense. Instantly, this announcement reinvigorates the show and allows Stewart to help figure out a new identity for the program in the same way he chose Trevor Noah as a successor back in 2015. Now, again, we're not going into this whole article, but I just wanted to give you the meat and potatoes of that. And I'm going to say this really quick. I'm very excited about that. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think he has a very interesting perspective on politics, on with everything. And I think it'll be interesting how he brings, hopefully, both sides of the aisle, right? Those who are Democrat, those who are Democrats, those who are Republicans, how he's going to hopefully make them join together and just laugh. Have a good time and just laugh. So I think that it's going to be really interesting to see what he does over that time. And of course, again, extremely smart timing. Extremely smart timing. Because right now they don't got nobody. Even if I'm correct, Rob Wood is leaving the show as well, or has left the show as well. I mean, there's people that used to be on the show that were powerhouses, that were really funny, that are all venturing off and doing other things as well. So, and of course, a lot of people love Trevor. Some people don't like Trevor. You see what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. But I will say this, though. Leslie Jones, I think, is hilarious. I think she's been fantastic. Every single time she's gone on that show, she has been fire. That's just my thoughts. Okay, that's just my thoughts. And it'd be cool to see a woman wear the hat. Change it up a little bit. You know what I mean? I'd like to see that. That'd be kind of cool. Different perspective for sure, right? But definitely let me know what your thoughts are. Again, like I said, this is just going through these really quick because we're getting into the next story. But I wanted to hear your thoughts on that for sure. You know, are you excited about Jon Stewart coming back or no? Definitely put it in the comment section or, you know, in the family chat. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay, so now that's gone. We're done with that story. We got to go into this next piece. Like I said, I'm going through these pretty briefly, pretty quickly, but this one really hits home. And when I tell you that I'm shocked, there's no words to explain. No words can describe what I'm feeling right now. Now, I did tell you guys at the end of this morning's show, when we were talking about the 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans being found unalive in the back of the house of this renter and all the crazy questions that have been sparking off around it. I did talk to you guys about how fentanyl, the use of the Fenty, is a real thing. People are using that booger sugar, and a lot of it is extremely tainted. A lot of times you're hearing people losing their lives due to laced party favors. Okay. Now, I never thought, I didn't know this. Okay. And this is real serious. Like, I was really shocked when I found out about my friend passing away due to what we all are feeling is tainted or laced stuff. Okay. And again, we already know that this Fenty is out here. And you know I got to use these code words. But the Fenty's really out here. And that's why I say, guys, be careful. Be very careful, because you just don't know. And again, I don't know how y'all live. I don't know how y'all party. Me, never touched that stuff in my life. As far as the booger sugar, that stuff scares the crap out of me. I don't touch it. Never have, never will. And I'm proud that I don't, and that I don't partake in it. But a lot of people that I do know do it. Okay. And this happens to be a situation that happened with one of my friends. But what's very interesting about this, and the only reason why I'm bringing up this story, is because my friend is actually involved in this story as well. I don't know if you guys know this adult film star by the name of Jessie Jane, but Jessie Jane was found, 43 years old, was found with her boyfriend at her home in Oklahoma. Cops discovered their bodies during a welfare check. Now, what I say to you right now, when I was very shook, when I was looking for news and just talking about things, I didn't realize that one of my friends, the one that I was just telling you guys about this morning, that his name would be mentioned in this very article with the death of this adult film star, Jessie Jane. Now, his name is Brett Mueller. Okay. I told you guys before, this man was really a big heart, a good guy. And I didn't expect this. I'm not kidding. But let's get into this conversation. And again, I'm going to tell you right now, you got to be careful out here, guys. You know, I'm hearing stories about other things being laced. All right. The Mary Jane, the other stuff. Okay. We have to be careful about what we're intaking. Okay. It's bad. And people are trying to cut this stuff down so that they can sell more by using that by using that Fenty. It is crazy. And now, I didn't know he was in a relationship with an ex-adult film star. I did not know that. But now his name is in this story as well. And I'm absolutely shook. I'm not kidding. As soon as I got done talking to you guys this morning, as soon as I sign off, I'm opening up my usual thing, just seeing what else is going on in the world, and I see his face. And I literally I just stopped. I was like, wait a second, what? So, because I heard about adult film star Jessie Jane passing away due to ODing, but I didn't know he was with her. So let's get into this. I'm like I said, I am shook. I'm just really shook. But I wanted to bring this story up again because this made headlines. This story made headlines. And what's sad is that there's plenty of other stories just like this that don't make headlines. His name would not be mentioned right now if it wasn't for her name being known in the adult film industry. We have plenty of friends and family that we have lost that don't even get their names muttered anywhere, that have lost their lives because they took the wrong thing one fateful night. So I urge every single last one of y'all, even though those of you guys who do it recreationally, you never know when you do it recreationally where that could very well be your last hit. So let me share this with you guys, okay? So of course we already know adult film star Jessie Jane. She passed away alongside with her boyfriend. She was 43 years old inside their home in Oklahoma. Police say that the star, whose real name is Cindy Taylor, was found alongside her partner, my friend, Brett, at a property in the city of Moore. Law enforcement officials said that the famed actress and her boyfriend appeared to have passed away from ODing. I'll just highlight it. But again, I'm absolutely shook. Officers had responded to their address for a welfare check after Hassemuller, Brett, my friend Brett, hadn't appeared at work for a few days. The exact cause of demise is currently unknown, with an investigation by the medical examiner now underway to take a final determination. And of course, this is now Jessie Jane. Okay. The Oklahoma medical examiner did not immediately respond to Daily Mail, the article I'm reading, their request for comment. Okay, so Jessie Jane, she signed a contract in 2002 with Digital Playground and went on in to star in a slew of movies, okay? A slew of adult films, all right? So, of course, if you really want to know a little bit more about her, by all means, go and check out her stuff, of course. But she has been known for her work in the adult movie industry. Okay. But back in the day, in 2020, she was arrested for allegedly attacking her then boyfriend, not Brett, but another boyfriend, during an alcohol-fueled couples quarrel. She was booked into the Cleveland County Jail on the charge of DV following the alleged incident. All right. Police who responded to the couple's home that morning were met in the driveway by Taylor's boyfriend, who was nursing a bloody left eye and had bite marks on his left hand. And this was when she was arrested for this fight. Okay. Since the news of the couple's demise spread, tributes were made on social media for my friend Brett. And this is Brett right here, guys. And what the type of work Brett did. See, now the thing is a couple years ago, when I talked to him, because once the lockdown happened, a lot of people lost connections. A lot of people lost touch with each other. A lot of people lost touch with each other. But this is Brett. And again, he was a really good dude, good-hearted human being, good soul. Real talk. When I heard the news yesterday, I was absolutely shocked. But then again, I knew that he partied. I knew that about Brett. But I didn't know this was going to be how his story was going to end. But back in the time when I last ran into him, He was in good spirits. He was healthy. He was happy. He was working on construction, from what I remember correctly. And he seemed like his life was in a really good place. But this was before the lockdown. A lot of things can change, right? A lot of things can change in a couple years. Again, what's really sad about these kinds of stories is that we hear the same breakdown in the likes of, he was a great heart, she was a good person, her light, her energy filled up the room, she was a showstopper, he was amazing, generous guy, so on and so forth, right? The only difference is that his name is in the headlines right now. But his story is just as common, just like Jessie Jane. Her story as well is just as common as all of us that have lost a friend or family member because they took the wrong thing. I just want to remind you guys of that. But this was my boy Brett. And he was a really good guy. And just so you guys know that this is true and this is proof positive, that's me and Brett right there. And real talk, this guy was a really good guy. Massive heart. Always smiling. Always happy to be there. Just a good-hearted individual. And now, this is it's such a loss, and it is such a shock for all of us, for everyone that's been friends with him and knew him for years. Huge shock. Absolutely, massively huge shock. But again, this is the reason why I'm bringing it up. Because the only difference is that his name is next to a known performer. But we know all kinds of friends and family that have gone through the same situation. But of course, a lot of people are saying, and of course, I've seen these online as well, okay, that it's such a loss. I'm at such a loss of words. My heart aches for my friend Brett. You were such a good guy, had such amazing soul. You were not just my friend, you were my brother, you were my family. I could always count on you if I needed anything or just needed a friend to shoot the ish with, or when we could see each other out and about, we could catch up about life and see when and where the next time. Love you, bro. Rest in peace until we see each other again. Another said, Brett embodied unwavering support with a heart of gold that touched everyone. Always ready with a smile, a comforting hug, and a collection of dad jokes. Here's a reminder to hug those you love today because tomorrow isn't promised. Farewell, Brett. May you rest in peace, a cherished friend. And indeed, he was. But what's really crappy about it is, shouldn't he be here on this planet right now? Same thing with Jessie Jane. Smiling, happy, being cherished as a friend, still embodying unwavering support, being the great human being he is, that he's known to be. That's what he should be doing. But he can't. This is the reason why I'm bringing this up to you guys. Please, and I said it before, this life that we have, If the if the books are right, we only get one of them. We only get one. This is not a sprint. It is a marathon. I know a lot of people want to live fast and die young, but I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather live slow and die old, but have a slew of really dope stories to tell. So before you think about picking up that powder, that little baggie, that little something something, think twice before you do it. Imagine that could very well be your last high. And then everyone's sitting here saying, RIP, your name. So RIP, Brett, you really were a good guy. It's just so sad that this is how, it's just so sad. But I did want to share that with you guys because honestly, I didn't expect this. Like I said, I got done with the show. I said my byes. I opened up the news just to see what else was going on. And there his face is right next to Jesse Jane. I'm like, whoa, had I known, maybe things would have been different. But I say, hey, if you get a chance to talk to friends, you know that they're, maybe partaking a little bit too much, don't fret to talk to them. Do not fret to talk to them. At least try. At least try. Anyway, we got to get into the next story. And the thing is, we got to get into our main topic. Because like I said, we were going to sprinkle into those stories, but that was something that really just shook me to the core. And I'm like, all right, we have definitely got to talk about that for sure. So just look to your friends and your family members. If you know they partake in all that, have that conversation. Sometimes we need to have those uncomfortable conversations with the ones that we love. And it's only because we love them, right? So just do the uncomfortable conversation. You'll thank yourself later. Now, the other thing I want to say really quick, just before we go into this next topic, which we are going to get into that piece here very, very shortly, because I am still very shook about this particular story. Still trying to get this. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this. But I will be doing a watch party of the trial, of the hearing. Bryan Kohberger's hearing is happening tomorrow afternoon. So I will be doing a watch party for whoever wants to see it, whoever wants to watch it with me. We will be watching it together as a family. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. Okay? So tomorrow, I most likely will be on in the morning. I'm sure there's going to be some new stuff percolating about the Kansas City situation, the Chiefs fans situation. But in the afternoon, I will be doing a watch party of the actual hearing that's going on with Bryan Kohberger. And if you don't know what's going on with Bryan Kohberger, that whole thing, have mercy. Go check out my playlist. There's so many videos. Okay, the Idaho 4 and all that. Okay. It looks like that they're doing a hearing starting at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'll be on at 3, live, watching it. And apparently, he's trying to throw out these indictments. So this is going to be very interesting. And of course, we will have, it looks like we're going to have Andrea Burkhart swinging through, to throw in her 2 cents, her professional legal 2 cents in the whole situation as well. So be on the lookout for that because we will be talking about that for sure, for sure. All right. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that'll be 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you guys are on the East Coast. Okay. So do the math and figure it out. Okay. So we will be watching. Trust me, I want to watch that. I was just waiting for more information. I know everybody. I know a lot of other content creators out here, just squeezing, trying to squeeze water out of a stone with the case and with Brian Koberger and everything. And for me, we got better things to talk about than trying to squeeze water out of a stone. No offense, a lot of people are doing great jobs at covering every nuance, but we got things to talk about, okay? Other than just BK, other than just Coco, all right? So let us get into this next story. Now, imagine you going over to a friend of yours house, and you saying, I've never partook in the ganj before in my life, taking a hit, maybe two, from a bong, and suddenly taking the life of the person that's standing right next to you, attacking them with multiple sharp objects over 108 times. Now, it's pretty shocking, right? It's pretty shocking. You got somebody who out here saying, the Mary Jane made me do it. And of course, I got to use all these code words, unfortunately, guys, okay? So just, we got to bob and weave with these code words. So ride with me. Pretty insane, right? You go, you're arrested, you are convicted, or actually, no, you are charged. And then you are convicted of involuntary manslaughter. All right? Or actually, convicted of manslaughter, I'm sorry. But instead of actually being thrown in prison, you get 100 hours of community service and 2 years probation. So that means you free as a bird. I mean, for the most part, within probation guidelines and, stuff like that, right? Now, think about that for a second. Let that marinate all the way down to your plums. And you tell me, is that justice? Now, this is actually a true story. Obviously, as you guys already know, because you guys are watching the show right now, you see the title above or down below, wherever you're watching this show right here. And this really did happen. A young woman ended up attacking her date, who she had only known for a couple weeks, 108 times, and claims that it was cannabis-induced psychosis. So in other words, she's saying the weed made her do it. What? Now, this is the wildest thing I have ever heard in my whole entire life. And I'm going to tell you right now, this sets a very, very interesting precedent for a lot of other people that are fighting in court right now because they may have taken the life of somebody whilst under the influence of something as well. Don't worry, we're going to be talking about that here in a second, but I know a lot of you guys are wondering what the hell's going on. And I'm telling you, I kid you not, she took a hit from a bong. Apparently a righteous hit, bro. And then she lost her ish. Apparently voices were being told, that were telling her, whilst after she took this very strong hit, important from a bong, that these voices were telling her that she was gone, that she was actually dead. And the only way that she can get back to life is by attacking her then new boyfriend, Chad. So she goes into the kitchen, grabs a bunch of knives, starts throwing knives at Chad, then continues to penetrate his body over 108 times. Then she goes and attacks her own service dog because she is hearing impaired. She attacks her own service dog. And because they were actually in the house, in his place, he had a roommate. His roommate came out of his bedroom, and saw the scene, called 911. And as police came in, no, this guy's name really is Chad. His name is really Chad, just so you know. This roommate sees this unbelievable scene, starts calling the police. Police show up. She starts to turn the knives onto herself. She has to be tased and beaten with a baton to stop herself from doing something unthinkable to herself. She is then sent to the hospital, not only with cuts, deep lacerations on her face and in her neck, but also a broken arm because the police were attacking her, trying to stop her from hurting herself. And apparently tasing her wasn't working. So when she finally came to, she asked the police, she asked people in the hospital, what happened? What happened? Was I AR'd? She didn't even remember what happened to her, allegedly. But later on, she went on to tell police in reports that she got so high. How high did she get? That voices were telling her that she was dead. And that she had to unalive Chad if she wanted to become alive again. Now, I'm going to ask you guys this. What kind of weed does that to anybody? Don't no disrespect. I'm just sitting here saying, who does that? Who does that? How does that happen? What kind of weed are you smoking? That's some strong mother-loving weed. Okay? Like, shout out to Cat Williams, but I mean, like, what was this weed called death? I mean, I'm just curious because, yeah, what? Again, makes no sense. But let's take a look at this article. Again, it's so crazy. So she doesn't remember. She's wondering if she was taken advantage of. But when she does finally come to, she has the whole thing broken down. And again, she even attacked her own service dog, guys. Even her own service dog. Let's get into this. And again, she was tried, she was convicted of manslaughter, okay? But was sentenced to no prison time whatsoever. And I have to say this, my thoughts and prayers go out to the family that lost their son, the friends that lost their friend. And from what I understand, Chad was a good dude. So what? He smoked a little weed. Who cares? It's me. But he didn't know that it was going to do something like this to her. This is crazy. So let's get into this. No prison time. 0. Oh, my Lord. Okay, the ex-boyfriend and childhood friends of a woman who attacked her new lover to his demise in a weed-induced frenzy have revealed she was opposed to the drug in high school and only smoked it for the first time in her 20s. So Bryn Spejcher, I've heard Spejcher and Spejcher. If you guys know the proper pronunciation of her last name, please let me know. But I've heard Spejcher and Spejcher. So I'm going to go with Spejcher for right now. Okay. Bryn Spejcher, 33, was convicted of involuntary manslaughter last month and sentenced to just 100 hours of community service for attacking, we got to use these code words, Chad O'Melia more than 100 times before turning the blade on her dog and her own face and neck. The two had only been dating for a month, so it's not like there was enough to have some old deep-seated animosity, like how dare you lie to me, you know what I mean? There was not enough relationship foundation for her to just attack him because she felt some type of way, right? She just straight up took this man's life with only dating this dude for a month. Okay, so she attacked. So they had only been dating for a month when they went back to the apartment in Thousand Oaks, California, and smoked marijuana from a bong. Okay. Yesterday in Ventura County Judge David Worley shocked the courtroom by sentencing her to no prison time at all after ruling she experienced a psychotic break from reality caused by the cannabis and had no control over her actions. Let me just say this really quick. You have to understand how many people, if other people who take life and snuff it with their own hands, and they're under alcohol, the powder, anything of that sort, do you realize that they can start using this same BS as well? I'm sorry, this is BS. Okay? I have never heard anybody smoke the devil's lettuce and then do something like this. Never in my life. Well, actually, without them knowing. Oh, I didn't know. I was so high. No, I've never heard that in my whole entire life. Not never, y'all. Not never. Okay? Okay, high school friends of Spejcher have told the Daily Mail, the article I'm reading right here, that she actively avoided the lettuce, okay, the greens as a teenager, splitting from a friendship group of regular users. So she's like, I don't want to be around stoners. This is not cool. Bye-bye, deuces. I'm good. I'm taking the high road, and I mean that in the spiritual way, okay? So, and according to Kevin Rasmussen, who she dated from 2014 to 2017, the pair smoked their very first joint while on a camping trip in Washington State when Spejcher was 25 and agreed that weed wasn't for us. So they're out there in nature and they're like, yeah, let's just, roll up a doobie, get in touch with nature, man. So they tried it and it didn't work out. I guess she didn't like it, or it made her super paranoid or something of that sort. But this is Chad. This is Chad, the man who lost his life. And from what I understand, really sweet guy, very athletic, very intelligent, good guy, was always someone who would see, like if he was at a party and somebody felt left out or felt awkward, he was one of those guys that walked over and would just strike up a conversation just to make that person feel comfortable about being at that event. Sounds like a good guy. Police were called to the victim's apartment on Memorial Day weekend, 2018, where they found Spejcher had fatally attacked Amelia, that's Chad's last name, over 108 times. She had also attacked and seriously injured her service dog. And when officers arrived, she was attacking her face with the blade, only stopping when authorities hit her repeatedly with a baton because they tried to use a taser and the taser didn't work. She was full on going in on herself with knives. She was arrested on a suspicion of M and charged with that offense. But in an extraordinary turn of events last year, the prosecutor's medical expert agreed with the defense that Spejcher's actions were the result of cannabis-induced psychosis, and she was not faking her behavior that day. Shortly after taking a second hit from the victim's bong, she began hearing and seeing things that weren't there and believing that she was actually dead and that she had to attack Chad Amelia in order to bring herself back to life, according to the district attorney's office. The prosecution painted Spejcher to be a party girl who just wanted to get high the night that she took the life of Chad O'Melia. Now, I will say this, not the greatest way of painting it, not the greatest way for prosecution to paint this girl, especially if she was one of those people that was trying to get as far away from the devil's lettuce all the way up until about her 20s. That's some serious stuff. So it's kind of a stretch for them to go, yeah, she was out here just trying to party. All she wanted to do was party all the time, party all the time, party all the time, when she really wasn't that person at all. Interesting. Shout out to Eddie Murphy. Anyway, so that's very interesting, nonetheless. Moving on, though. But Spejcher's oldest friend and mother described her as a naive and sheltered, as a naive and sheltered. That's what it says here, citing her sheltered life, avoiding daunting situations due to the hearing impairment she suffered from birth. So now they're trying to use the hearing impairment as a reason of why, of the reason of her having a sheltered and naive life. Ha. Okay. I've met plenty of people who are hearing impaired out here kicking it, hitting them trees and all that stuff. Hard as hell. So I don't know about all that. Okay. But to each their own, everyone lives their life how they want to live it. Spejcher's friends have also claimed that she has never taken an interest to the Mary Jane. In fact, would have rather avoid it. So one of her friends, Amy, now 33, met Spejcher in 2007 when they played in high school sports games together. Why didn't they just say, okay, never mind. I just think it's funny. She played basketball. I played softball. That's what Amy said. And we bonded because we both like doing things that girls weren't supposed to like doing, like camping and hiking. While the pair were at high school, they began to notice a clear division in friendship groups. It became like some people were smoking the trees and some people weren't. And this sort of split formed in our friendship group between the ones who were into it and the ones who weren't. Both Bryn and I were on the don't side. Spejcher didn't try the trees until she was about 25 years old, according to her ex-boyfriend, Kevin, who she dated for 3 years, which we already talked about, who she dated in her early 20s. The couple who met in their shared hometown in Chicago decided to do the thing when they were hiking. We already know about this. She didn't necessarily just want to be at some house party and try it. This is what the ex-boyfriend said. Okay, during a podcast. I knew we were going to be out camping. I thought that would be a pretty cool place to try for the first time. They were actually out, so we were actually out camping next to a waterfall. You know, pretty cool for a spot to smoke. Like, yeah, okay. But Bryn took, I believe, only one hit. I took one at first and then took another only because I have smoked before. This dude probably smokes a lot. Moving on. Bryn said something like, hey, I'm not sure if I'm high. I looked over at a bag of chips she was holding, which was her family-sized bag of chips, and the whole thing was almost gone. So I point out, well, you've almost finished the whole bag of chips just by yourself. And we both sat there for a second and just started laughing. It was so funny. In other words, she was high. So it worked. The pots got her high. The experience was exactly what we expected, but they agreed, no, it's not really for us. They broke up. She moved to California, but they kept in touch. She did. It's classic high. Yes. Yes, local trees. That's funny. Local trees. Get it? the local trees. But yes, this is very, you know what I'm saying? Very typical. Hey, I don't think it's working. And then you look down and the whole bag of chips is gone. You know what I mean? Suddenly you're like, oh, man, I'm thirsty. I need a lot of water and I need some Funyuns. I don't know why, but I just want some Funyuns right now, man. But it didn't work, right? Speaking of the moment he learned of the tragic events of May 28th in 2018, he said, I do remember it being very hard to read and just being in shock and disbelief. But right away, I thought to myself, something else happened. This isn't the whole story. But several of Chad's family members accused Spejcher of showing no remorse for her actions throughout the course of the trial. Chad's father, Sean, said he had initially planned to forgive Spejcher as to quote unquote to heal and heal, I need to forgive. However, he admitted that feuding between the families over the past few years has removed my mind's ability to live in forgiveness. He followed this statement by pointing his index finger directly at Spejcher, who was sat to the left of him, and declaring, "She killed my son. That's a fact." Further contempt for her came from Chad's uncle, who stated there must be a consequence for the taking of a life. He accused Spejcher of adopting a victim-blaming defense for her previous statements, suggesting Chad pressured her into smoking from his bong that contained a high-potency marijuana that triggered the episode. Several of Chad's family members accused Spejcher of showing no remorse for her actions throughout the course of the trial. Now, that's what's interesting. Because I do have some video clips that we're going to be looking at here too. And I'm telling you right now, yeah, they keep saying like she kept directing the whole thing about herself rather than actually talking about the remorse of taking his life. Because you can't deny the fact that she took the life of this young man. But throughout the whole thing, she's trying to lean on the fact that he allegedly pressured her into smoking, taking a hit from a bong. Let me tell you something. So you're telling me that this guy came up and was like, come on, just take a hit. It's no big deal. You're going to be all right. Right? Because you got to remember this. She agreed to take a hit. Not from the bong, but first they smoked with something else. They apparently smoked from a joint. And then she said, I'm not feeling it. She said that. I'm not feeling it. So he said, okay, hold on. Let me get something for you. Let me get you right real quick. So then he went and got the bong. And then he brought it to her. So you're telling me he pressured you into smoking it? Did he put a gun to your head? I'm just asking. Did he do anything in some threatening way where the pressure was so great that you had, okay, I'll just smoke the bong. I'm just saying, something's not right. But she's leaning on the fact of, oh, he made me smoke. He pressured me into smoking. Seems like you had free will to say yes or no. And also, you did smoke before you took the hit from the bong, and you said you weren't high. And maybe you were high and you just didn't realize that. You did it and you took that hit by your own free will. That's just my thoughts. Okay? Now, let me show you guys. Now, I know I have it in the thumbnail, but I might as well show you. I mean, this is how she was, she went to the hospital because of all the broken arm, you see all that on her neck and on the side of her face. And this is Chad. Okay? This is Chad. All right. Hold on real quick. Thank you so much for the $2. What time again is BK Thing tomorrow? It is at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. 3 p.m. S-dubs and everybody else. So we will be watching it for show. Okay? But she's claiming that this is Cannabis-induced psychosis. This is a first one for me. So this is why I say it doesn't make any sense. I'm going to get into it in a second, but we definitely need to look at some news clips here for sure. Chad's father speaks out quite a bit, and so we need to talk about that again. It's for me, I don't know how this woman is out here free. I just don't know how this woman's out here free. That's the part that doesn't make any sense to me.
Frankly, the prosecutors bought into this enough to drop her original charge from murder to involuntary manslaughter.
If I'm correct, this is about a month ago, this video right here. So we're taking a little bit of a trip down memory lane really quick. There's a much more up-to-date video that we're going to be looking at shortly. So let's rock and roll.
Since cameras were not allowed into the court, we were very thankful to Tony Biasotti with the Ventura County Star, who acted as our eyes and ears for that testimony. But you can only imagine what this testimony was like for Chad's family and Chad's father, Sean O'Melia, who is live with me now. Mr. O'Melia, thank you for being on. And again, I am so sorry that you're having to not only go through this, the loss of your son, but then also the testimony today. Can't imagine what it's like to be in your shoes. What was that like, listening to Ms. Spejcher and what she had to say in court?
Well, I'll tell you this, Ashley. Again, thank you for having me. The whole trial has been exhausting
No doubt.
for me and my family. It's very difficult when you have heard the evidence, read all the statements, and then the individual who committed the crime, wants to take absolutely no responsibility for their actions. It was hard. It was very difficult to listen to this. At times, but I will say this, I think her attorneys did her a tremendous disservice by putting her on the stand, because there has been an individual that they have portrayed as her, and today what was seen was somebody different. And it wasn't just in her behavior and in what she said. There was a lot of text messages that came out prior to her even meeting my son that demonstrated a behavior of alcohol use, large consumption. She had missed some work because of it.
Oh, so now he's trying to say that, okay, she has a history of kicking it. So, but that's the thing. Just because someone says, oh, yeah, I don't do that devil's lettuce, doesn't mean that they ain't down for that sauce. Everyone's got a vice to a certain extent. Could hers be alcohol? Maybe that's what they were trying to show, but that's still, I don't know. I still don't think that's a strong argument. For me, it's the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the evidence here. She took this man's life. She viciously attacked him. Period, point blank. This man is no longer here. He is gone. She committed the ultimate, I'm sorry to say it like that, but the ultimate sin. Thou shalt not what? Exactly. So I don't understand. I still don't understand how she's out here free. I still don't get it.
It's the truth kind of rolls out, and it has rolled out. And those text messages did also reveal, with those people prior to meeting my son, there was some marijuana use. The friends used the marijuana. Her attorneys have been talking about oils and wax that were never found at the scene. But in some of those text messages, she was communicating with her friends about the edibles, and that they were saying you can put the oil on ice cream and eat it. So, and then there was a period where she started speaking and was asked about my son, and she said, well, he was a nice guy, he was easy to be around, he was funny. But then when it came time to talk about the bong loads, she claimed to be intimidated by him, and none of this information was in any of her prior statements. It's just stuff that's, she's speaking about today.
Okay, let me just say this, okay? Of course, I got to hop in and out of this, but let's keep it real. If she was that intimidated by this guy, that still doesn't justify taking this man's life. You see what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't, I mean, you never judge a book by its cover, right? I mean, even in this little photo here with his glasses on, looking innocent and all that, sure, he could really be a monster and a jerk, or maybe he just was roasting her until she actually took a hit. But there was no signs of any altercation or any hurt inflicted on her that was by him. So it's not like he physically intimidated her into smoking. They were still in the cordial, in that getting to know you phase, just getting to know each other. Still in that, that excited, I don't know this guy, but he's cute. She's really cute. We're getting along, blah, blah, blah. You're just getting to know each other. So where is this? I can see intimidation of she wanting to impress him because she finds him attractive and she doesn't want the date to go sour, but that's not enough for you to take this man's life. It's just ridiculous.
And sometimes juries get angry if a murder defendant starts to point the blame towards a victim, or if they perceive it that way. Mr. Amelia, did you get a chance to really get a read on this jury? I mean, sometimes they tend to look over to family members of victims and really sympathize. Are you getting that feeling at all from this jury?
I think they're doing a good job of paying attention. I wouldn't say I would be somebody that could read a jury or read the jury, but given what they've heard that somebody has stabbed somebody 108 times, and today was her opportunity to show the jury that she had some form of remorse for her actions. And it was really clear that in her testimony that everything was about her, me. I can't count how many times I heard her say me. Now, I realize this is not good for her or her family either, but there is a victim here, and she is not the victim.
Yeah, I agree 110%. She is not the victim here, but for some odd reason, her team, the defense team, did some sort of Hail Mary, and they threw something way out and said, yep, cannabis-induced psychosis. Let's just ride on that for a little bit. She's an innocent. She didn't do anything. The weed did it. What in the... I got so many four-letter words I want to say right now, but still, make that make sense, y'all. So she sits there and says, oh, no. Everything was about her. He forced me to do it, or he pressured me to do it. Then, I did all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. She even attacked her own dog. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But again, that doesn't make any sense. That her sentence does not fit the crime that was committed. And I understand why Chad's dad is mad as hell. I'd be mad as hell too. This is not justice being served, in my personal opinion, not by a long shot.
Right. The victim's name is Chad Amelia, your son. Sean, thank you so much.
So that's enough on that one. But that was about a month or two ago, just so you guys know. All right. Just so you guys know, I got another one I'm going to share with you guys.
Sean, I have this question for you, and I only have a few seconds left.
And this is just recently, all right, after the verdict. Okay, after the verdict and her sentencing. So Dad is back to talk about that. Okay? So let's take a listen to that.
Sean, I have this question for you, and I only have a few seconds left, but
Sure.
you know, her attorney has indicated to News Nation that she wants to open a dialogue with your family. She wants to dedicate her life to doing good work, and she plans to speak about the dangers of marijuana-induced psychosis. Do you ever want communication with Bryn Spejcher, or do you ever see yourself forgiving her?
Well, the second part of that question is an absolute. I have to forgive her. I'm a person of a very strong spiritual belief, and so is my family. And my mother has told me that my path to see Chad again is through forgiveness of this young lady. But forgiveness and atonement are not mutually bound. She should have some atonement for what she's done.
Damn right.
Let me ask you this question. At one point in time, her brother's remarks were, your brother gets up there to speak and says, she's not the type of person that should go to jail. I'm sitting there listening to this young man and I'm thinking, do you realize what you just said? And he was a police officer.
People are crazy. People are crazy. And the thing is it doesn't matter about his faith or not. The fact that he's trying to find some place in his heart for forgiveness, I tell him, shoot, Godspeed, good luck, because it's going to be a long journey. Because I mean, this woman still did take the life of your own flesh and blood. Your seed, your legacy. I'm sorry. That's really hard. It's really hard for me to find any type of forgiveness on something like this. And the fact that she's not even going to feel the repercussions of her own actions and only getting 100 hours of community service. What? That's her probation, basically? What the hell? That's it? This man's life is gone. If she was going convicted and put behind bars for however long that the judge decided to sentence her, then yes, then it would you'd feel a little bit more. I feel like I'd get closer to forgiveness faster because I know that justice is being served and she's getting what she rightfully deserves. But the fact that she's going to be out here in these streets living her life, being able to smile again, being able to breathe in this freedom air, and my son is 6 feet under. No, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It'd take a lot of time for me to find forgiveness. And the fact that the family members are going and testifying like, you know, a girl like this, she doesn't deserve this. She still took this man's life. M was involved. She unalived a person, for crying out loud. Unalived. And she's still able to walk out here in these streets. I'm telling you right now, there have been so many other stories that are a lot like this that have never, ever had an outcome like this. Never in my life have I ever seen anything like this, ever. And is it because of other things? Could it be other things involved? But they're literally saying it's because of the Mary Jane. Come on, guys. Like, no. 1,000 times no. She attacked this man over 108 times. Not once did she get out of that snap out of it. Even if it is temporary insanity, you're telling me that you're not going to feel the repercussions of the actions in which you did? Ever? That's insane to me, guys. That's absolutely insane. And this father is absolutely right. This is crazy. It's like he lived an opposite. It was like opposite day during the trial. Okay? It's like opposite day. What in the deep fried Krispy Kreme type of crap are we looking at right here, man? And damn right, Fuzz, She's most definitely a threat to society. In my personal opinion, what if that psychosis was an episode that just happened to be induced while she was high? What if she does it again, sober as hell? Do you realize that this is a person that's extremely dangerous? This is a dangerous person. This is not somebody you should let out. The fact that she is not even taking any repercussions, not even feeling, not taking any accountability, tells me what kind of person, what her brain, where her mind is really at. This is a dangerous person, y'all. Period. And sure, she may never touch the Mary Jane ever again, but that doesn't mean that's still not in her. That psychosis or that her psychology could get triggered if she drinks too much. Shoot, if she has one shot, okay, of tequila, she gonna be the same person again? It's insane, guys. Absolutely insane.
So I wanted to ask him, well, then define the type of person that's supposed to go to jail for me. Okay. I mean, if anybody in that courtroom should have known that if you break the law, this type of law, you should go to jail, it should have been him. You don't separate people based on their educational background or any of that type of thing, whether they should go to jail or not. It was absurd. It was an absurd remark.
He is not
I
wrong.
gotta tell you something. I was really ashamed of that. I was ashamed to have to listen to it. It was disgusting to me. But the answer to your question is all that needs to happen and all I've ever wanted is just take responsibility for what you've done. And yes, we can talk until you're going to say, yes, I killed your son and I am sorry. Okay, fine. You don't know why it happened. I don't know why it happened, but I love my son, but you need to honor and respect him. That is it. That's all I ask for.
You know what? I'm also going to say this too. And yeah, as Jackie Sue just said, yes, Dad. Yeah, I agree. This father is a lot more calm than me. I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. I would have been losing my mind right now. I'd still be losing my mind if this was my own son. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? There would be no calm bone in my body right now. Okay. And it may be the lighting right now or however it is, but I'd be beyond red. Okay. Because his face looks red in the video. And I don't know if it's just the lighting, but still, I'd be heated. And Ashley Banfield would definitely hear my 2 cents. I'd be like, you got an hour? Because I ain't done yet. Put this on, use this as the extended version, the uncut version, because I'm about to curse. I'd be saying all kinds of stuff. There'd be not one calm bone in my body. I'd be pissed is all get out. Especially when when you know for a fact the culprit, the bad guy, the monster is getting away and just got away with something that she shouldn't have been able to get away with. That's just wild, man. Have mercy.
Thank you.
Sean, you're an extraordinarily brave man and a very charitable father. And thank you so much for honoring Chad the way you did, and also for speaking with us about this. I really appreciate this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. There's another one I want to share with you guys. Hold on. I got to find it, though. I thought I had it, but I did not. That was a bold-faced lie. Hold on. I got to find it. 1 second. There's another one. It's the father again speaking out because he's just like, this is, yep, I think this is it. No, this is not. Is it? Yeah, okay. No, that's not it. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Where the heck is it? Damn, I gotta find it. There's another video where the father, of course, Chad's father speaks out, of course. And he's just basically saying, like, now you're just giving every person that, does some sort of act like this an excuse to justify themselves of doing said act. And so I don't need to play the video, but that's pretty much what this judge has just done by sitting here saying, "Oh, it was because of the yes, it was because of the cannabis. Therefore, she, it's safe to say that it's not her fault for viciously attacking this man and taking his life. So we're just going to sentence you to 100 hours of community service and call it a day. You're free to go. Goodbye. God bless and Godspeed." That's insane. What about all these other stories and all these other cases that we hear about where people are under the influence and have done an act of violence or taken somebody's life? Do you realize that there's somebody else right now that's still looking at a trial, but they keep pushing it over and over and over again? They keep changing the court dates all the time. Sarah Boone. I don't know if you know who Sarah Boone is, but Sarah Boone is someone who let her boyfriend pass away zipped up in a suitcase. Now they have been pushing, delaying the court dates like crazy. All right. They've been pushing it. But now you hear stuff like this, where it's like, oh, she got away with cannabis-induced psychosis. This woman was getting drunk with her then boyfriend. Okay. Just a quick thing. And I guess they were playing hide and seek or something. I don't remember the details exactly. But all I remember is that he was in a suitcase. She's filming this. And you can hear in the background her talking to him while he's begging her, please open up the suitcase. I can't get out. I'm stuck, babe. I can't breathe. He's literally saying these things. And as she's talking to him, you could tell she's slurring her words. She's very drunk. And she's like, that's what you get that's how it feels when you do that, when you cheat on me. Stuff like that. Obviously a very toxic relationship. And yes, Penny, she records it all. Passes out, wakes up the next morning, and he's gone. Passed away. He's gone. Calls police. They show up, and she's sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this whole thing." Blah, blah, blah. We were drinking. We had a couple bottles of wine. I went to sleep. I woke up, and now he's gone. Right? Do you realize she could use the same ish? Oh, I was under the influence. I don't remember. It was alcohol-induced psychosis. How about every single person that gets behind the wheel of a car and takes the life of somebody else because they had too much liquor in their system? Can't they do the same doggone thing? Someone who's high and drunk at the same time? The many people who have done powder or injected something into their bodies, and then they go and do something unthinkable. Maybe an accident, maybe a mistake, but they still take the life of somebody else. Do you realize that they can use this thing and ride on this case and go, well, she used cannabis. Why can't I use the H? Induced psychosis. In my personal opinion, this judge really just screwed the pooch for so many other people and so many other families that are wanting justice, because now they're going to be using this case to lean on. And then we're going to still have other monsters that shouldn't even be behind the wheel, that shouldn't have even taken the lives of somebody with their own hands because they were under the influence. Now those people are going to walk because of this BS. This Hail Mary of an excuse. This is a Hail Mary, and it actually worked. This would be a completely different story or a different, I think, response from the public if it was Chad, the victim who passed, putting his hands on her. or if he was aggressive in some sort of way, right? That he SA'd her or R'd or whatever. This would be a completely different scenario and a different conversation if there was some sort of altercation before his life was taken. But there still wasn't that. She took a hit from a bong and she lost her freaking marbles. And now they're saying because she attacked her service dog too, that should suffice. That shows that her psyche was off. But have they ever thought about maybe she attacked her service dog to make it seem like, oh, this would be a good excuse to make it seem like I lost my mind? Has anybody ever thought about that too? You know what? Exactly. Shabusiness. Taylor Shabusiness. That woman in Wisconsin who, separated her boyfriend's head from his body whilst they were in the middle of some coital. What is it? Mid-coital? Okay? Mid. And she was on that crystal, if you get what I'm saying. So what? She gets to walk now too? And that girl crazy. She gets to walk too? Because she was on that stuff? It was a crystal-induced psychosis, right? So she should be able to walk free too. And allegedly, there was other things that were being said about the experience, about the trial, how the family, her family, was harassing Chad's family in the hallways during the trial and all this. And it's like, well, no one asked her to do said thing to their son. Why would you get angry and defensive and want to get, almost toe to toe with the family who's grieving the loss of their son? It's her that did the wrong, not the other way around. And the fact that he also did say that in the interview, the brother was like, she's just not the type that, she's just not the type that deserves to be in jail. And he's a cop. Oh my God. And he's 5'0". Her brother's a cop. Think about that for a second. Hamburger. What? That's how he thinks in his own head? I'm sorry, but you don't have a bias when it comes to that. I'm sorry, you can't. I get it that it's your sister and all that, but when she done, for a fact she did the crime. There's no way around it. Yeah, she should go there. She should go to jail. She done this thing. That's insane, guys. I'm sorry. I hate you. Wow. I just can't. My mind is absolutely just so freaking blown by it. It just is. Okay. And the fact that she got away with this, they are basically throwing a very dangerous person back out into the streets. And I'm telling you right now, fellas, please don't date her. I'm saying it. I don't care. Okay. Don't date her. Run for the hills. Run for your life. Run. I'm going to tell you that right now. This is not somebody you should be around. This is a very dangerous person. Okay. Son of a gun. Okay. Yeah, Jessica Moon. Brother is 5'0". He 5'0". He even said that. He said, brother came up and was like, a person like this shouldn't be locked up, shouldn't be thrown in jail. And he a motherfucking cop. Okay. Yes, I cursed and I don't care. He a mother-loving cop. Yeah. I wonder how he runs in these streets as well. She doesn't deserve it. She's too cute. You're robbing the store. You're cute. Go ahead. It's fine. Go. I'll just say the wind. There was a really strong wind gust that busted these windows open. It's all good. Go. Go ahead, cutie. Bye. I'm sorry. No. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. If you appreciated the variety of the conversation, the stories in the beginning, please let me know. Hit that like button down below, okay? Or whatever. That would really mean a lot. Just wanted to give you guys some other stories to talk about other than just the true crime, because we do talk about a lot of stuff on this channel. All right. I appreciate you guys. So hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that reaction button down below if you're watching on Facebook. Crush that follow button on my Facebook page. Hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel. We got a lot of work to do tomorrow, a lot of coverage going on tomorrow. So be on the lookout for it. 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will be watching the Bryan Kohberger hearing. I have a feeling it's going to be very short, but we will see. We will definitely see. Okay. And of course, we got some friends coming in and being a part of the conversation. So be on the lookout for that. Okay. She guilty as hell. Okay. She guilty. I just saw somebody say, Pascal, we need a she guilty. Mimi, she guilty. Guilty as hell. And she's still out here in these streets. She gets to be free. That's insane. I don't know what planet they were living on during this trial, but oh my Lord. I'm hoping that the family goes and I don't know, maybe goes after her in a civil lawsuit. I don't know, something. They need to do something. And they need to do something fast to make sure she stays out of stay out of the way of public in public forums. I don't know. This is a dangerous person in my personal opinion. Okay. Anyway, guys, it took a lot to say that. I don't know why. It's late. All right. So I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. Have a great rest of your evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. We got a lot to talk about, many miles to go before we sleep, or before the weekend at least. All right. So be on the lookout for that. Okay. And if you are going to smoke, I guess smoke responsibly. I guess you have to say that now. Okay. Yeah, this really burns my cookies. This burns my cookies. Trust and believe, Limelight. Okay? Have mercy. This is insane. Anyway, guys, check out my merch, pascalmerch.com. Please and thank you. Okay? Thank you guys for sharing that. I will pin it to the top of the chat. Make sure you do that. You feel me? Like I said, I got some really great stuff, so go check it out, okay? And yeah, if you're going to smoke that ganj, smoke responsibly. And stay away from sharp objects. Anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys very soon. See you guys tomorrow morning. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.